Hello, I'm Chandria Campos, and today I'm going to do a brief presentation on the Zulu, people of the Heavenly Kingdom. And I'm titling it this because Zulu translates to heaven or sky. All right, so the Zulu represent the largest ethnic group population in South Africa at approximately 12,159,000. They're located primarily in KwaZulu-Natal, which is actually pictured to the right-hand side here. There's a few of the cities. Yeah. Due to the nature of the Zulu, they were mostly unaffected by transatlantic slavery. Their location and their demeanor at the time of the transatlantic slave trade provided them with protection. During the reign of Shaka Zulu, the Zulu were known to capture war criminals and assimilate newly conquered tribes into their own. After defeat in the Anglo-Zulu War, the Zulu were dispersed by Britain into 13 subgroups within the region. And as a result of indirect rule, the society or the people of the Zulu kingdom, their society was disbanded. It was experiencing chaos. Colonialism was a major game changer for the people of the Zulu kingdom. Their religious and marital practices were altered based on Christian beliefs of missionaries. These missionaries came to the Zulu people in around 1840, and where polygamy and sexual modesty were practiced, the missionaries didn't understand, and they essentially undermined women's roles in the society by enforcing their religion on the Zulu people. Um, Eventually, the Zulu kingdom was disbanded, and I think we discussed this in the last slide. They were put into different groups, and they over time would have to deal with the repercussions of the apartheid. They were forced to live in these marked territories. I think even today, the Zulu do not have South African citizenship. They actually have the area of KwaZulu-Natal is actually it's very strange. It's a government within a government, and we'll get to that soon. Extensive research has been done on the environment that the Zulu live in. Um, the rainfall in KwaZulu-Natal has actually decreased consistently since the year 2003. Um, Agriculture and the maintenance of livestock is still common, even though the land that a lot of the Zulu people are residing in isn't optimal. Cattle and meat in general has become a luxury. So the Zulu diet consists primarily of vegetables, squash, pumpkins, maize. And the Zulu people residing in rural areas face challenges in acquiring adequate water supplies, lighting, and they face a lot of the same issues that a lot of South Africans face that are living in rural areas. Okay, so as I previously mentioned, the political structure of the Zulu kingdom is a little strange. They are essentially a government within a government. There is a monarchy, and it was unclear whether or not it was similar to the British monarchy, where it was just someone who was, ruling for the sake of saying that someone's ruling. But it actually seems like President Goodwill, and he's pictured to the right, has a lot of influence. Presently, he's working to make sure that some of the land designated to the Zulu people isn't being expropriated without their permission. In this photograph, he's also wearing traditional Zulu dress. The cheetah represents power. I know cheetah, and there's another animal. I can't remember if it's a leopard, but this print symbolizes the power and the strength that is loved by the men and women of Zulu culture. The king is normally chosen based on his bloodline. in the past there have been assassinations, but normally the person assassinating, I think Shaka Zulu, one of the most prominent Zulu kings, was actually murdered by his brother, I believed. As far as Zulu society goes, they've become very individualistic. Crime and punishment is often something dealt with by society at large. The individuals involved, the church, the school, the community, chiefdoms in different areas may intervene at times. The major conflicts that I noticed were between the chiefdoms when it came to territory, actually. This is a result of the interference of the Britons when the Zulu kingdom was being colonized. Groups and kinship. So I lumped a few of the categories for this research paper together because a lot of it tied in with each other so well. So the Zulu are part of the Nguni ethnic group, which includes the Xhosa, the Ndebele, and the Swazi. And just in case the pronunciation is off, feel free to ask Dr. Bratton to help with that. The Zulu families are typically extended, and as with a lot of communities within Africa, elders are looked upon as holders of wisdom. They're very highly respected, and they're actually treated as pretty much an extension of the mother and father by anyone that's younger than them. The roles of men and women in Zulu society are based on a mixture of traditional Zulu culture and Christianity. Children are socialized and taught how to work depending on their gender. So for a while a child is unable to work, they can chill out. But once they reach the age where they can actually participate in day-to-day activities, they are essentially watching their corresponding sex go throughout their day. And now it's a little bit different because the men of the Zulu society are actually having to leave their communities so that they can work. A lot of the income for Zulu communities is from, I believe, commercial, working professional jobs and then coming back. Agriculture and the care of livestock isn't something that's really bringing in bread for them right now. Social status is dependent on age, family wealth, and cattle is still considered a symbol of wealth in Zulu society. And bloodline. A lot of the people, the chiefs, are in their positions because of their ties to whoever was their predecessor. On to the next slide. This is going to be one of my favorite things to discuss, religion in Zulu society, and it's a really cool mixture of Christianity and traditional Zulu belief systems. Ancestors are a huge part of Zulu spirituality. They can, if you appease them, they can positively influence what's going on in your day-to-day within Zulu society, or that's the belief. Polytheism is also common. There's male, female gods. I believe the female god is representative or able to influence crops, growth, fertility. And the male is essentially strength. I think there's a light god. Animism is also another thing that Zulu society believes in. Herbs, different landscapes. Faith healing is a big thing as well. It actually ties into one of the issues with health in Zulu culture. So we all know that HIV is an epidemic in Africa right now. It's died down a lot because of preventative measures that have been taken. One of the issues, interesting enough, with diagnosing HIV and AIDS within the Zulu community is the fact that they'd rather go to faith healers as opposed to doctors when they notice symptoms. Yeah. Culture in Zulu society. One of the things that I noticed when looking into how art, crafts, cuisine, a lot of the recreational or the traditional activities within Zulu society go on is how important beads are to identity. So at one point, beads were designated specifically for royals or for kings and whoever they favored. Once the protection, or I'm not sure of the word at the moment, but once beads became more available to people in society, they became a huge representation of the wearer's identity. You could tell someone's social status or their desired social status, their political affiliations, and even their background, their homeland. Like beads and the way that they were arranged in necklaces, bracelets, whatever was crafted with them could let you know a lot about a person in Zulu society. Cuisine is very, very interesting. I looked into one of the meals, and I believe it's essentially curdled milk, and it has to be eaten with someone who's related to you. I thought that was something that was really, really noteworthy. And for the most part, the Zulu have I think we've mentioned this, a primarily vegetarian diet, and that's because of how agriculture works in the society. The things that are being grown, again, are the maize, the squash, the pumpkins. Um, I don't want to say cabbage. I'm going to leave that out, and I said it anyway. But anyway, yeah, as far as cuisine goes, there's a lot of symbolism that goes into the food, into some of the dishes that are eaten in Zulu culture. Dancing, an article by, I forgot her first name, but I believe her name, the pronunciation is Ferenzi, but it basically goes into dancing beginning in the 1830s into the present, and the changes in what the dances represent in Zulu culture, go from demonstrating the power of the king, to figuring out the eligibility of people in society. Specifically, the warriors would be asked to dance on some occasions, and those that didn't would be considered cowards. It's also a form of spiritual expression. Later on in contemporary Zulu culture, a lot of the dancing pays homage to tradition, to belief systems, individuality, essentially. Okay, guys, this is a list of a few of the references that I used in order to compile this PowerPoint. Yeah. All right, so this is going to conclude my presentation. I'm not there to answer questions in person. However, if you do have any inquiries, or you have any questions about anything relative to Zulu culture, please don't hesitate to contact me at ccampus@augusta.edu. Thank you so much for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day.